Tom, the world's largest crude oil producer will soon own a part of the world's biggest oil refinery. Saudi Aramco will buy a 20% stake in the oil-to-chemicals business of Reliance Industries in what is estimated to be a $15 billion deal. Well, Bloomberg's Matthew Martin is in Dubai, and he spoke with Aramco's Senior Vice President for Finance just moments ago.
Irrespective of the market conditions, our goals within the company in upstream is to maintain our position as the world leading crude oil producers and lowest crude producer as well, while in the downstream we will further profitably diversify our operations and increase the petrochemical production.
Well, joining us now from Dubai is Matthew Martin, Bloomberg News Middle East finance reporter. Matthew, it's also the first time that we actually get to these half-year results from Saudi Aramco. Is this really maybe the strongest sign that they're getting ready for the IPO?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a key way of reading this. And in that conversation with Khaled Al-Dabbagh from effectively the CFO of Aramco, he said that the company is prepared for the listing, and now the decision just rests with the shareholder, the Saudi government, as to the timing and location of that. So really, this does fit into that story of a company that is getting ready for the increased transparency and scrutiny it will come under as a publicly listed company, which we could see as soon as next year.
Okay, well, if you look at the earnings and you think of investing in the IPO, do you worry about the fact that it's not diversified enough, or some of the oil reserves, or do you just wait to see how they price the IPO?
Well, I think there's a huge amount of unanswered questions that we still have around Aramco as it prepares for this listing. I mean, clearly, from the perspective of the company's ability to generate cash, it throws off a huge amount of cash from its oil production. I suppose the bigger question for the equity investors, though, is how much can it produce in terms of a dividend for equity investors. We saw in the statements, the financial statements they've just put out for the first half, there's this $20 billion special dividend that they've just paid to the government. That is another indication that it can pull these huge financial resources to pay dividends out to investors. But the question will be, in an post-IPO environment, will it still be paying out that sort of money in a special dividend to investors, or is this just a one-off that's gone into the Saudi budget to help prop up the Saudi economy at a time when they've been trying to boost spending to grow the Saudi economy?
Matthew, are we any closer to understanding the accounting of Aramco?
I mean, I think we are. We're seeing there is the transparency in there. We now know exactly how much is being paid to the government through things like the dividends, through the royalty payments, and through the taxation. So there is transparency around that. I mean, I guess the thing that will be on the minds of equity investors in the run-up to an IPO is how do you disentangle a company like Aramco from the Saudi state and from the finance ministry, because ultimately the question is going to be how many levers does Aramco, in terms of the company itself, have to pull to boost its performance, whilst it is the energy ministry and the government which is making decisions around its production levels, and obviously it has no control over ultimately what the price of oil is.